don't think you're going to get drafted before us. And I want you to know that if you're there on the 21st pick, we're going to take you.
The next thing you know, on the bottom of that ticker said, with the 21st pick, the Minnesota Vikings select
the wide receiver from Marshall University, Randy Moss.
20 years ago, the Vikings made themselves a nice little selection at the end of the first round there. It's good to relive the good ones and not the Christian Ponder ones. But welcome to the Buzzin the Tower podcast. I'm your host again. My name is Brian, a.k.a. Big Mac Light Lettuce, a.k.a. the Denny Hawking of Slow Pitch. I'm joined today by another great football mind, my buddy Caleb, a.k.a. Young Charlie Hustle. Caleb, what's up?
What's going on, man? How's it going?
I mean, it's going. I'm ready to do this mock draft. You know, we've been building up towards this thing. We've been, teasing it towards the people. So it'll be good to actually get this thing cracking here. So how this is going to work is eventually Caleb is going to flip a coin. And we're going to alternate picks. Either he's going to have the odds or he's going to have the evens. But first of all, there's a couple topics we got to cover before we jump in.
Oh boy, let's do this.
So when you talk about the quarterbacks in this draft, there's a potential you could see 6 in the first round, potentially 5 in the top 15, the top 10. What do you think, Caleb?
I think that's a good possibility, 5 in the top 10, but I think for sure we're going to see at least 6 in the top 20 for sure.
Do you think Rudolph will slide up?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of teams are kind of thirsty for quarterbacks out there right now, so...
Yeah, and I mean, if you saw the run that happened last year, it was like they kind of shot in back-to-back with teams going up to get Mahomes and Watson, and it's like, in this stage of the NFL, if you see a guy you want to go get, you got a mortgage part of your future to go get it. And that's a risky scenario, but high risk, high reward. So
yeah, and quarterback's probably going to start trending right away. So everyone's going to want to jump on that quarterback bus and get up there. So
yeah, and a couple of teams you look at that have some power to trade up in the first round are the Bills and the Patriots, who both have 2 first-round picks. Now the Patriots just traded away Jimmy Garoppolo. Tom Brady is every bit of 55 years old. He still was the NFL MVP.
Yeah.
But, Bill wants to look towards that future a little bit, or at least build up another asset you can trade away for a first-round pick. But the Buffalo Bills also trade away Tyrod Taylor. And they got, I think, 12, and they pick again in the 20s. So they might have better ammo to move up. And I think once they got that second first-round pick, I think it was pretty clear then that they're ready to make a big jump up. I don't know. Where do you see them jumping up top 5?
I would agree with that. Especially with Denver willing to trade and stuff. But I could see, I don't know, with Belichick, I feel like he'd be willing to wait till the second round to, get some non-script guy and be like, we're going to make him the next Garoppolo.
Could that nondescript guy be Kyle Lauletta from Richmond, an FCS guy? Segue into my next point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would actually be a very good. He at the Senior Bowl, he absolutely killed it. He looked good, looked very good, and showed a lot of potential. And if he sat under a guy like Brady for a few years,
you don't see New England going up to get a Lamar Jackson, maybe.
No, definitely not.
I don't think so.
No, I don't see that.
Yeah, I mean, and what we were gonna talk about, and we discussed this before the podcast, was Kyle Lauletta. For our NDSU listeners, will be a good gauge of potentially where Easton Stick could go next year. Because if you watch Lauletta and you watch Stick in terms of, being a college quarterback, I don't know what Lauletta necessarily does better than Easton Stick. Lauletta might have a little stronger arm, not significantly better. Stick is a better runner. Stick runs, the pro-style offense that the Eagles are basically running now, it seems like.
Right.
With Wentz in the league, so... I wouldn't be surprised to hear Stick's name called next year, 2nd or 3rd round, which sounds crazy, but...
Yeah, but I mean, I could totally see it happening. I mean, who says, all these quarterbacks are going to, work out this year, but
Right. So let's say he's the 7th-ranked quarterback going into the draft. I mean, that's what Lauletta is right now.
Right, and, I mean, everyone's always still looking for solid backups and stuff, so, I mean, I could see it, and, he's a fighter, He's probably going to put up good numbers in the combine, too. So,
God hopes he just stays healthy for multiple reasons this year. His draft stock being pretty low on my personal scale of that. But the other thing I had jotted down, one of the other things, was the running back position sort of making a comeback with Todd Gurley and Leonard Fournette. And now this year you'll probably see Saquon Barkley go top 4 for sure. And might see a couple running backs in the first round. Do you think teams are sort of drifting back towards that running back in the first round idea? Because there's a couple years there where nobody was going in the first round.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think a little bit, but like this year, because since everyone's so quarterback thirsty, I think,
Running backs will slide.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, there's like, I'd say like Barkley and Chubb are for sure, first rounders. But I mean, I think other than that, I could see, the other guys kind of sliding.
Yeah, I could see LSU guy going first round, but yeah, it'll be interesting now that you see an Alvin Kamara go third round, come in and dominate, and Dalvin Cook was dominating out of the second round. So
yeah,
you wonder if teams are going to start maybe putting more coming back towards maybe we should slide in the first round and take this guy.
Yeah, I mean, like definitely like teams that are more in need of running backs. I could see maybe
teams that actually run the ball.
Yeah, right.
Not many of those left. But.
No.
All right, so our last pre-mock draft topic here, Nick DeLuca. Our beloved Nick DeLuca out of NDSU. Probably the only guy to get drafted from NDSU if he gets drafted. Like fifth round, what do you think?
I could see, I could see like probably fifth, sixth round. But I think he should get drafted for sure. He goes out, he's a workhorse. He goes out there and he's quick sideline to sideline, good at reading plays.
Great against the pass too. You don't see
yeah.
that
Oh
one.
yeah. And if you watch his tape, like every play he's around the play. Like he's there, either making the play or around the play. But I definitely like him. I like him to go earlier, to the Vikings.
To the Vikings,
course,
yeah.
But
Cantrell Brothers suspended.
Right.
Ben Gedeon was good.
Right.
He's kind of nondescript though. But, you can always use more special teams guys. If there's one thing the Patriots have done through their entire run is get special teams guys. So, DeLuca played a bunch of special teams in NDSU. So.
Right, and, what's Barr's situation?
Yeah, you might need some depth at linebacker. He's played both spots in NDSU. He played, the middle. He played the outside. So, I don't know. I think that'd be a good pick for the Vikes. I agree. But, well, let's get this mock draft started. Caleb's got the coin over here. So, let's just say... heads, you pick first. Tails, I pick first.
All right, let's do
Go ahead
this.
and give it the toss. Hits the microphone. That's talented. Heads. So I get the odds. I get to go first for the Cleveland Browns. And, for all you listening, we have an NFL Predict the Pick that I'll post on Facebook and Twitter that you can join our group and make your own mock draft and try to beat us this year because last year we got in the top 5,000 in the world. So. Do your best, try your best, but good luck. And I'll post that on Facebook and Twitter. But so we're going to do the same thing. Caleb, do you want to, I can do the timer here. We're going to do, 5 minutes again? Tops? Do we even need that?
I don't think we'll need it,
okay.
But yeah, that's fair.
But if we're rambling, we'll do the signal to pick it up a little bit. Yeah, nobody can see, but the rolling of the fingers.
Let's get it
going. All right, so I'm on the clock. First pick here, Cleveland Browns. This is almost uncomfortable to pick for them because you just don't know what they're going to do sometimes.
Right.
But
shot in the dark.
I think in this pick, a lot of people are thinking maybe they'll take Barkley and try to just snag a quarterback at 4. But I think if there's a quarterback you like better than the other ones, you have to go get him at 1.
Oh, for sure.
So I think they're going to go with the safe route, and they're going to take Sam Darnold out of USC.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I feel like.
Do you think Darnold is the best quarterback?
Honestly, I don't.
Would you take Rosen or Mayfield or Allen? What do you?
Honestly, I kind of not to go the whole Carson route, but I do like Allen. He's got, the way he threw a 70-yard bomb, it was just relaxed. But
he definitely has the best tools.
Yeah, and I feel like he's got a lot of potential, and he doesn't have the big school coaching like these guys do. These guys. Their peak might not be as high as what Allen's could be because, he doesn't have the resources as, these other guys.
A lot of people talk about him playing as, smaller competition the same way they did with Wentz, but if he's actually, because, Wyoming's coaches used to be NDSU's coaches, the same offensive coordinator that recruited Wentz, so he ran a very similar offense. I don't know if he did everything Wentz did at the line, if he has the leadership, but when you talk about playing under center, being in a huddle and all that, that's a huge advantage coming into the league. I think that goes a little unnoticed with, their pro-style offense. But
for sure.
So on the clock, number 2 pick, New York Giants. Caleb.
Honestly, I feel like this is kind of an easy one. Like, I think no doubt they have to go Barkley.
I would agree with you.
I mean, that's like
They kind of
when's the last time they've had a running game? Like,
and they kind of committed to Eli for some reason. Kind of came out and said that we're committed to having Eli as our quarterback. Which, spoiler alert: last time Eli was your quarterback, you're the number 2 pick in the draft. So, me personally, I would take a QB, but I think you're right. I think they're going for a running back there. I think also it's a great spot to trade down out of.
Yeah, but honestly, if they go Barkley, he's a good receiver.
And he's a monster, yeah.
Yeah, and that'll help maybe take some weight off of Odell. So
and maybe they're one of those teams that from the second round trades up into the first and gets one of those QBs later in the first.
Right.
Like
what
the Vikes did when they took Anthony Barr but came back and got Teddy.
Yep.
So that's a great trade down spot. We're not doing any trades in this mock draft because that would really jam everything up. We've gone through a couple scenarios already. It could really go haywire fast.
Right. We could be here for a while.
Yeah.
But
all right, so
Jets number 3. It's a tough one.
Jets number 3. I'm on the board. Jets once again. I get to pick with the Browns and the Jets, which is just a thrill. But they traded up to this pick, so they've got to be going QB if they went up to the top 3. Now it's the question of which QB. Like Mayfield seems like an obvious fit, but I think they go with Josh Rosen. That's my pick. I think that he's got enough personality to do the New York thing. I think he's got the physical tools you look for, and I don't know. I'm gonna go Rosen there. It's such a wild card. It could obviously be Mayfield. It could be Allen right there. I mean, there's a myriad of ways the Jets could go, but they're taking a QB. That's the one thing that's pretty much a guarantee. So I'll go Josh Rosen there, which feels again like a safe pick.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, definitely if they're trading up to 3, they're definitely trying to go after
100%. Yeah,
a quarterback they want. So
they're not sitting there praying for Saquon Barkley. They know they need a QB, unless they think Josh McCown's going to play 20 more years or something and be functional for all those. But who knows? All right, number 4 pick. It's back to the old Cleveland Browns. So Cleveland already picked at number 1 and took a QB. What do they do at 4?
I mean, like they can almost go for a second QB here.
Yeah.
No, but
it's a great trade out spot once again. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they just they made a lot of moves in the offseason, and they had a really good draft last year too. But I mean, you can almost pick anyone.
Maybe a best player available kind of scenario.
I think so. Like, I think they first round they probably pick. First pick. Sorry, they probably pick the quarterback.
Right.
So I mean, I'd say they probably go. Best defensive player there, Bradley Chubb.
Agreed.
I'd go with Chubb.
Him and Garrett would be scary.
Yeah, I mean Garrett, he didn't play full season last year, but he was.
Yeah, he was the number 1 pick for a reason, and he showed it last year.
And if he has someone definitely to compliment him.
Yeah, if you can rush the passer, you can go a long ways on defense.
Scary,
yeah. So I would agree with that pick too, Bradley Chubb. So there's 4 picks off the board. The Browns. I mean, let's talk about the Browns for a minute. You go Sam Darnold, Bradley Chubb. I mean, a lot of people's eyes, that's probably number 2 and 3 on their board. With Saquon Barkley, but yeah. All right, so now we get to the very interesting pick of Denver. Denver, I have a great idea is going to trade out of this pick. John Elway's made it pretty clear he's looking to trade out of this pick. This is where I think Buffalo jumps up, but not part of our podcast. So I'm going to pick here for Denver. If Denver stays, I think they go for a QB. So we talked about this as well before the podcast. They got Keenum locked up for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You don't know if he's the guy. He had one great year. He's had a couple of mediocre years. They made it pretty clear they don't think Paxton Lynch is the guy, because otherwise you wouldn't sign a QB for $20-some million a year. So, I think they cut Paxton Lynch or whatever. Just maybe let him wallow on the bench for one more year. Yeah. I think they try to get their QB of the future. And if John Elway likes nothing more, it's a guy with a big, strong arm and some wheels like him. One Josh Allen out of Wyoming right here.
Oh, man. I could see that. I guess I could see that.
You see him, or were you thinking him or Baker though?
I don't think Elway would put his faith in Baker. I think Baker's too much of a wild card for Elway.
But here's where it would get interesting too, because the Colts have made it pretty clear they're not going to take a quarterback because they traded back from 3 with the Jets.
Yeah.
So they got hundreds of millions locked up in Andrew Luck. So there's another great place for the Bills to jump up. So I don't know. This is where it's going to get really murky. Is these top 6 to 8 picks is the teams that don't necessarily need a quarterback, and you got Buffalo there with 2 first-round picks. You're looking at that saying, not only can I get 2 first-round picks this year, maybe get more, or maybe I can move around in the draft and still get some other picks on top of that. So it's going to be a wild, wild scenario, I think.
Oh, yeah, I'd agree with that. And, Indianapolis, I feel like is kind of in the same, almost, I mean, not quite, but almost the same boat as, Cleveland, where they almost need help everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, one thing that they need is, they need to keep Andrew Luck healthy. So I think, honestly, they'd probably go all line. I would go Quentin Nelson, Notre Dame. I mean, you got to protect your franchise quarterback there. So, I mean...
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And he's the best lineman in the draft, and the only tape I've seen of him is a little clip of him choke slamming some guys. So, you got to like that.
Right. He's aggressive, so, I mean...
Yeah. So we go with the Golden Domer from Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson at 6. All right. So now it's on me. Number 7, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They could use help a lot on defense. Basically everywhere on defense. Outside of Gerald McCoy, there's not really any... Well, I got Jason Pierre-Paul now.
Yeah.
So there's not really... they drafted Hargreaves a couple years ago. He looks like he's going to be pretty good, but he hasn't been the shutdown guy they probably thought he was going to be. So there's not really anybody you can point at on their defense. Levante David's good, but he's injury prone. So Quan Alexander, same thing, kind of injury prone. So I think you draft the best athlete on defense, a guy who can play multiple spots, who can rush the passer, and can maybe play some stand-up. I think you take Tremaine Edmonds, Virginia Tech.
Ooh, yeah.
I think just a guy who's an athlete like that, kind of when the Vikings took Anthony Barr, it was the same idea. They didn't know if he was going to be a pure pass rusher. They didn't know, exactly what they're going to do with him. But a guy that's that athletic, that you can just sort of figure it out. It's like having a good bat in baseball. If the guy can hit, you'll figure out where to put him.
Right.
So that kind of idea. So yeah, I think Edmonds is the pick there. I think Tampa needs a ton of help on defense.
Oh, for sure, I agree with that.
Also, wish my handwriting was better. I might have to retype this up before I put it online. Thank God this is an audio-only podcast.
Right. Maybe we could put a picture of this up on Twitter or something.
Yeah. And then just have a translation of what it actually says.
Right.
Because my handwriting is crap. But, all right, number 8, division rival, Chicago Bears.
Ooh, here we go.
Taking another QB right after they took Trubisky.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think they go Mayfield.
Go back
sure.
to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Run the revolutionary 2-quarterback offense.
Yeah. Do more of that, double pitching stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chicago, another team that I feel like needs a little help on defense. Maybe a little... yeah, they got Trubisky now, so I feel like that helps. And they got Cohen on running back.
Jordan Howard's a beast, too.
Yeah, Jordan Howard's a beast, too. Yeah. So I feel like they're good there. If I were them, I'd definitely go defense. And a lot of help I feel like they need is in the secondary, so I'd probably go Ward.
Denzel Ward, corner, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Another great trade down spot here. If people are looking for Baker Mayfield near the Bears, if you trade back and you can maybe take one of those receivers, because Kevin White has been injured the entire time.
Yeah.
They could use, Cameron Meredith's gone.
Yep.
They could use a ton of help at receiver. So if you can maybe move back a few spots, maybe if it's Buffalo again. If you go to 12 and 22 with Buffalo, you get a receiver maybe at 22, maybe some defense. That defense might slide to you at 12. So
yeah.
Once again, we're not projecting that in our draft, but
No.
if you're the Bears front office, hopefully they're not listening because it's a genius idea.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But that Denzel Ward probably the best corner in the draft. So all right, now we're on to San Fran.
San Francisco.
Fighting Jimmy Garoppolo's.
The Fighting Jet McKinnons.
The Jet McKinnons, yeah. Oh, man. Let's see here. Man, they kind of need help everywhere as well.
I mean, I feel like they kind of stacked their defense a little bit the past year.
Yeah, they've used a lot of first-round picks on their D-line, but not all those guys have panned out. I mean, Eric Armstead's been kind of a bust. Shout out to Hooch, he's an Oregon guy, but
Yeah.
DeForest Buckner's been good. Solomon Thomas, they took in the top 3 last year on D-line, so I don't think you can go D-line again here. Otherwise,
No,
you've got
yeah, definitely.
4 first-round picks tied up on your D-line, and you're probably in a 3-4. So I think they got to look at their secondary as well. I think I'm going to switch it up here, though. I think a lot of people are thinking Micah Fitzpatrick here. I think they take the Florida State guy. I think they go Derwin James here.
Derwin James. I guess they need someone to complement Sherman, huh?
Yeah, I mean, might as well build that secondary.
Right.
He's a dynamic guy.
Yeah, I think that would be a good pick for him, especially if he can come out and start right away and complement the cornerbacks.
And he's kind of a combo guy. You know, he's a corner and a safety. You can kind of just plug him in, and he's gonna fly around the field and make plays. I think they definitely need a guy like that. Sherman, obviously, he's not as locked down as he used to be, but that'll help him out. But I mean, they're gonna lose Eric Reed, it seems like, and so they could use another safety. So I think Derwin James makes a lot of sense. For some reason, I almost thought he was in state. I thought of the 2 warm states, but then I remember they're on opposite coasts.
Yeah.
Well, he's a warm weather guy, so
Yeah, warm state to
call
warm
that
state's
good.
not
Yeah.
bad.
All right, so 10th pick, Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders. Oh man, the Raiders. They got a pretty solid defense, so it'd be hard.
They added Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, they had a Jordy Nelson.
Sounds like Marshawn's coming back.
Yeah, so I feel like I feel like if anything, they'd probably need help in the secondary again. I mean, that's almost like I'd say that's probably their weakest point of their game is their secondary.
Yeah, I mean, they got Carl Joseph out there. They just signed Daryl Worley, who just got arrested last. I mean, Landon Collins. I mean, you got Haha.
Yeah, I mean,
They got a bunch of guys that can hit. That's for sure. He's a good player.
yeah, and they need someone out there kind of that can lead that secondary. So hopefully,
Yeah, I mean, if you can get Carl Joseph to develop with him, I mean, that could be nasty. Not great handwriting, Brian. That's all right. All right. Wow, here's where it's going to get interesting. Miami Dolphins at 11. I mean, if these quarterbacks are still left there, if Miami doesn't want one, they're trading out. Because Buffalo's obviously looking for a QB as well.
oh yeah,
I mean, Miami needs help in a lot of places, mostly on defense. But I don't think for the contract. I don't know how much guaranteed money Tannehill has, but I don't think they're stuck to him either. So I'm gonna roll the dice here, number 11.
oh, are you?
I'm
going
putting
there?
Baker Mayfield in the 305.
Jeez.
Baker Mayfield in the 305, which is all kinds of dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Give the guy with a questionable off the field resume a bunch of money in Miami. It could go poorly, but I'm gonna go Mayfield at 11.
I mean, I don't know, man. I see first week there, maybe a little OD going on.
Yeah, he might end up on TMZ a few times
Right.
during that first week. But I mean, if you believe in him as a talent, and he's let's see, in our rankings, he's ranked 4th on the NFL.com top 50. So I think that's where you go. Especially, I mean, who knows what you're gonna get from Tannehill now?
Right.
Coming off an ACL, kind of a guy who relied on his legs and who was not particularly great before he got hurt. Like, he was okay. No. He showed some potential, but
I mean, maybe they'll bump Tannehill out the slot. Back in the day, like when he played wide receiver.
Yeah, moving back. That's not a bad idea.
Get him running the little routes.
All right, pick number 12. The team that I can almost promise you won't be there draft day, the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills. So obviously, Buffalo Bills just traded away Tyrod.
Tyrod's gone. They've got A.J. McCarron now, which is...
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting there.
Right. which the Browns like what they messed up on signing him or what was that? Yeah, something like that.
They didn't get their trade card in quick enough before the deadline or something like that. Typical Browns.
Yes, I can see that. So, oh man, this is in order to replace someone like Tyrod. I feel like you need to draft someone like Tyrod, which I feel like.
Oh boy.
So I feel like they go Lamar Jackson here.
I was hoping you'd say that because I agree. 100%.
I don't like it. I don't want it. But I feel like that if they stay at 12, like I feel like that's what
I agree.
What they do.
I agree 1,000%. I think there's gonna be 5 QBs gone before 12, and that might be the low end. So that's good news for everybody picking 13 to whatever. If you have, what Lamar Jackson's 21 on the NFL.com rankings. He's got to end up with the right coach, though. I feel like you have to be willing to change your system for him. You have to build him into a system. Because if you just try to make him a drop-back passer, like what was it Jim Mora tried to do with Michael Vick, it's not going to work.
No, that's...
You got to make him... You got to have the RPOs, the read options. Like, you got to build an offense around him and his skill set. Because, he's got crazy talent. So you don't know exactly what you're going to get.
Right, and you need a coach that can definitely exploit that, and you also got, you still got Shady, so...
Oh, man, yeah, that could be...
That's a dangerous backfield.
That could be wild, yeah. So, there it goes. Lamar Jackson at 12. I agree wholeheartedly. We talked about that in the last podcast. It's not necessarily should he be ranked there, or is he worthy of that, but we talk about the quarterback position.
Everyone's thirsty for a quarterback.
Everybody's going to try to jump up for one. So he could end up in the top 10. You could see a run right at the back end of the top 10. All those teams that just need defense that might need a couple of guys might jump out of there. So
right. Especially if people are willing to give up picks for it and everything too.
When you look at Buffalo and New England, 2 first-rounders. That's money right there.
It is.
Do you think New England jumps though? Probably not. We already talked about that.
Yeah, I don't see New England really jump. If anything, I'd see them trading down.
Yeah, again.
Get some more picks, yeah.
That's the typical Bill Belichick.
Right.
All right, so 13th pick, Washington Redskins. I think they can use some help fortifying the middle of their defense on the D-line. I think they take the big Simone guy, Vita Vea, Washington.
VV.
He guy's a beast. They could use the help in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the pick right there. Shout out to my boy T. Smith if he's listening.
Yeah, Washington definitely needs help on defense.
I should have looked at his text messages he sent me before I gave him a shout out, but I was trying to get some insight. I was talking to my sources.
Make sure he's still on the side.
Oh, he said D line, so Payne or Vea. So I did listen to him. So that's good news. So yeah, Vita Vea, I think you go with him. Get the big guy to solidify the front. You got Kerrigan, guys like that come off the edge to try to make some stuff happen. So 14. Oh man, you got stuck with this one.
Oh boy.
Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay.
There's pretty good punters left on the board here, I feel like.
Yeah, there's a couple punters top 50.
They're going to be punting a lot when Rodgers gets hurt again.
Right. They're not going to have much choice when they spend all their money on Rodgers. No, but, Green Bay, I'd say, as always, they probably need, they need help on defense. They also just, gave away Jordy.
Yeah.
So they could spend more money on Rodgers, but, that's beside the point. And,
do want to keep rubbing that in.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'd say they probably pick, best defensive player. I'd say I'm kind of thinking they go Raquan Smith.
Yeah, which would pain me to see that happen because that guy's a monster.
Yeah, in Georgia, I feel like Georgia always has killer linebackers. Like
and that guy, if you watched him play I only watched him play in the playoffs, but man, that guy was everywhere.
Right. Clay Matthews he's out there with a cane.
He's still got the hair though, man.
Yeah, he's like one commercial away from retiring, but Honestly, Georgia's is they're known for putting out good linebackers, and
Yeah.
every time they get good linebacker that drafts, I feel like they always produce. And
Right.
I mean, so I'm kind of excited for this guy and no matter where he gets drafted, but
I think Green Bay would be thrilled to have him there too.
oh, for sure, yeah.
100%. All right, number 15, Arizona Cardinals. So here's a spot where Arizona just loses Tyrann Mathieu. They probably need help in a couple of places. It's probably a wide receiver, D-back, stuff like that. But they could be another team that trades up for a quarterback. They got Sam Bradford on his brittle knee.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Rams just got Ndamukong Suh next to Aaron Donald. They have to play him twice.
Oh, yeah.
I think Bradford is preeminently injured. Like, how much guaranteed? 15? Oh, nope, I'm good.
Like,
Let's stretch this thing out.
I'm out at least one of those games.
Yeah. Feel like I got migraines for the Rams game. But so they're definitely a team I could see trading up. I don't see them taking Mason Rudolph here. So I think they take the... let's see. I think they take a guy to go along with Patrick Peterson to help their secondary. But I don't think it's the guy that NFL.com has ranked up here. I think they take Josh Jackson out of Iowa, the Thorpe winner.
No.
So I think that's where they go. That guy's a ball hawk, another playmaker out there.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good pick.
So I think that's where Arizona goes. Get a guy on the opposite side of P2. Guy that'll make some plays on the other side. But once again, that's another team you look at. They might go up and get a guy they like a QB. They might mortgage quite a bit of their future. So it's tough to know.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to put your future in a guy with a couple bad knees.
That got called. What did Zimmer even title it as debilitated or something like that, or degenerative? That was the word. Now you want to hear about your quarterback,
right?
All right, so we're gonna do one more pick and we're taking a break. So number 16, Baltimore Ravens.
Boy, Baltimore.
Caleb to end it off. Another team getting rumored about quarterbacks too.
I mean, yeah. I mean, how much longer does
Flacco?
Yeah, Flacco has on his contract. I mean, he
signed a pretty big one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he's got a few years left. Two, 3 years left.
Depends on the guaranteed money though.
Yeah.
He might be cuttable at any minute, but.
Oh yeah. But I mean. I feel like they need help everywhere, but
yeah, their receivers look sorry. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, are they going after Dez? I don't know.
They just got Willie Snead today. That was their big
Ooh,
pickup.
yeah, Willie Snead's a good pick. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I don't know. He's okay, but
yeah. Man, I feel like this is a tough one. They need help on defense too. Is Suggs still alive? Or
I think he's still kicking. He's every bit of 41 years old,
right.
Still wearing that crazy face mask and rushing the passer. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like they could use help at every level outside of C.J. Mosley. Maybe Jimmy Smith at corner is probably their best defensive back, but he was banged up last year. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the Ravens enough.
Right.
I feel like they're just kind of nondescript at this point.
Yeah, I mean they have a couple decent running backs. I mean, not nothing great.
Right.
Average NFL running backs, I'd say. But man, this is
the first roadblock.
I know, first roadblock for sure.
Sailing along pretty good here.
But I'd say their probably biggest thing is probably, I'd say again, defense.
I would agree.
So, I mean, you'd almost have to go. You need. Oh man, this is.
I feel like you're actually on the clock.
I know. Yeah, I'm like it's like
Ravens
ticking
real
down.
quick.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening?
For those of you who can't see it, which nobody can, Caleb is currently sweating over here.
I am. Yeah, that's pretty.
He's beaten
bad.
up.
I'm gonna go Rashaan Evans, Alabama.
Ooh. All right.
I mean,
they do like those Alabama guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they've drafted quite a few of those guys in their day. So, Rashaan Evans, number 16. All right. So there's the first half. We're going to take a little break, try to collect our thoughts here.
With the second pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Carson Wentz, quarterback, North Dakota State. The
it goes without saying that this is the highest a North Dakota State Bison has ever been drafted in the national.
You know, it would be nice if Rich Eisen said Bison because it rhymes with his name, but, you know, can't hold it against this guy. Welcome back to the Buzzin the Tower podcast. We're going to finish up the second half of this mock draft here. And I fortunately get to lead this off. I get to start with the LA Clippers, just kidding, the Chargers. Same abbreviation now, which is kind of confusing. But I think the Chargers are probably still hoping to win with Phillip Rivers. They got some decent talent on offense. I mean, Travis Benjamin was pretty good for them at receiver, but I feel like the biggest problem they've always had with Rivers was protecting him.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
I feel like they've always had injuries on their line, so I'm going to go out and take a lineman here. I think they're going to go down and get a guy who's an absolute mauler out of UTEP, big beast, Will Hernandez, the guard.
Will Hernandez.
Might feel like a reach for an offensive lineman from what seems like a smaller school, but you know, we both watched the Senior Bowl, and that dude was a beast at the Senior Bowl.
He was,
so
yeah.
I think that's a good spot for the Chargers to help out their O-line, even though they need help in a lot of places. But
I like that pick. I feel like that's a good pick, and I feel like the Chargers have had a good streak on small schools lately, if you know what I mean.
You talk about Kyle Emanuel?
I mean, I may be talking about him a little bit. But,
Yeah, I mean, draft him, moving positions. You know, he's just gonna get the job done.
Yeah.
That's what Bison do. But number 18, the Seattle Sea Chickens,
the Sea Chickens.
the Richard Sherman-less Seattle Seahawks. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
Pete Carroll still at the helm.
I feel like it kind of depleted their defense, so I feel like they're gonna need help at defense.
They also lost Michael Bennett.
Yeah, and so did the Eagles as well.
Yeah. he's only played for the something County Correctional Facility at this point. But
Yeah, I mean, good for him. Maybe he can still be doing his movies or whatever he's doing on the side.
Right, yeah.
Whatever. He's done. But I think they're gonna go defense. I think they're gonna take a chance with Davenport. I'm gonna go
Marcus Davenport. Another guy we saw at the Senior Bowl, and that guy looks the part. Like, he looks like a Jason Pierre-Paul kind of.
Yeah.
Like, he's
So he's got all those fingers, so I think he might be able.
Do you know that for sure?
Oh, I guess I don't. I might have jumped the gun there.
Well, I mean, July 4th is between now and next season, so, you know, let's not count him out. But
He's still got time.
But yeah, I mean, that guy looks like a stud pass rusher, so
Yeah.
I can definitely see that for the Seahawks, losing Bennett. I feel like that's like the one spot in their defense they've never had that's great is when they had Bruce Irvin, that's when they were, you know, in the Super Bowl and winning.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
like, I mean, Bennett was good, but they never had just that right end or left end, just flash fast guy. So I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. Write that down, everybody who's going to Vegas this weekend, and make sure you put money on that. All right, next up, Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas, this is a tough pick for you.
I think this is an easy pick.
Ugh.
You lose Des Bryant. You don't really have a number one receiver. And Jerry Jones loves to make those splash picks. So I'm going Calvin Ridley, Alabama, wide receiver. He's a number one waiting to happen. If you'd had better quarterback play, you'd had better numbers at Alabama, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go Ridley there. Although I mean, you could debate him, DJ Moore, but I think Ridley's the number one receiver. I think it makes a lot of sense for him in Dallas. Although they need help on their defense as always, at corner and everything, but I think that's the pick.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, number 20, Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions. I think. I don't know why, but I feel like they always need help on defense. I mean, they got Stafford, who's always. He's consistent. He's always putting up numbers.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He's going to be for a long time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they lose Haloti Ngata. Ezekiel Ansah is playing a franchise tag now, so they got that going for him. It feels weird not drafting a wide receiver for them, potentially, just because they had such a string for a while there. But
Right.
that was also like 10 years ago. But what are you thinking defense all the way here?
Ooh, I don't know. Honestly, I think one thing that could actually be a game changer for them would be. This might be a little out there, but I think running back.
I was just thinking the same thing when I looked down at this.
I think One person that hasn't been named yet is the second Chubb. I want to go. I think they might reach for Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb?
I want to go Nick Chubb.
All right, let's put him down for Lions. I think that would be good. I mean, Amir Abdullah hasn't been great for them. He's been banged up a lot, and he hasn't been incredibly productive when he has been healthy.
Right, and I feel like they always go. They always kind of go like, like backs that are kind of like
Scat back.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I mean, it might be a change of pace, but I don't know. I feel like he'd be kind of a good fit for Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, you've picked well for Chicago and Green Bay and Detroit now, so let's hope that doesn't happen. I've agreed with all your picks so far within our division. Yeah. You better nail the Vikes one, that's all I'm going to say.
I hope I'm wrong on all of them.
Yeah, just punter and kicker run, hopefully, on those even spots.
Yeah.
No, I like that pick a lot. I think Chubb, you could go Geist there, you could go Michelle, the other Georgia guy. Yeah, I agree. I think, like we talked about earlier, I think the run on running backs is going to start a little earlier than it has traditionally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that. All right, number 21, Cincinnati Bengals, which is almost impossible to predict as well because you just never really know where they're going to go. I think a lot of them I've seen have had Hernandez there. They've used a lot of picks on corners, so I think Alexander keeps sliding from Louisville. But I think they're going to lose Montez Burfict, if not this year, then next year. So I think they build their linebacker depth and go with the guy who's a thumper, a big linebacker out of Boise, Leighton Vander Esch.
I like that pick. I think that'd be a solid pick.
I thought I had them pegged as taking Reuben Foster last year. I'm not sure if they're talking about trading Montez Burfict or not, but I think he's about on his way out. If he doesn't get traded, he'll probably get suspended. So
right.
I feel like they could use a linebacker in that division with, especially if Cleveland looks like they're building their offense. You got to go against Le'Veon Bell twice a year. You could use another big thumper in the middle. So
right.
We'll go with Vander Esch.
I like that pick. I think that's good.
Also, I didn't realize the second Chubb until I looked at Cleveland's previous pick. I gotta probably put an initial in front of these so people know which one we're talking about here. Huh?
A little Chubb.
Double Chubb. All right, so Buffalo Bills second pick. They have Lamar Jackson earlier in the draft, according to our expert football minds.
Yes.
So 22. What do you see for Buffalo?
Well, 22. You just draft a quarterback. You have Shady. You got to protect those guys. I feel like you go all line, and I feel like you got to go someone versatile. So I feel like you go James Daniels. Center out of Iowa.
Okay, I like it. Middle. I like it. And they just lost their center, just retired.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
I feel like that's a good fit there. Help the passing game, help the running game.
I like it. Oh man, I get left with New England Patriots.
New England.
Oh, it's out. Once again, we talked about trades earlier. This is obviously a trade down spot because Bill Belichick perennially trades down everything. Just tries to stockpile picks. In this case, you just lose Malcolm Butler. You got Stephon Gilmore, but Belichick loves having good defensive backs. So I think they take the guy who kind of fell in their lap here that slid down. I think you take, I don't know if it's Jair Alexander out of Louisville, the corner. I think that's the pick for them to replace Butler right there. Get another shutdown guy on the outside with Gilmore. I think that makes a lot of sense for New England.
I can see that, yeah, for sure. Especially with Belichick. Yeah, I mean, you gotta fill those defensive voids. I like that pick. I think he'd be a good fit there too.
All right, number 24, Carolina Panthers. The Fighting Cam Newtons.
I feel like, I feel like Cam definitely needs help on offense. I feel like I can see them going wide receiver here. I feel like they'd go. I think they'd go DJ Moore.
Moore?
Yeah, he's versatile. I mean, he kick return, wide receiver.
They can use a guy like that. Yeah, because they have the big receiver with Funches.
Yeah,
and never really replaced Kelvin Benjamin.
and I feel like they've. I mean, like when's the last time they've had a slot guy? I mean, they got McCaffrey. I feel like this guy would be a good compliment for McCaffrey.
Yeah, they tried to use Curtis Samuel out there a little bit too, but I mean, to have enough weapons with Cam in that offense, I feel like that, it's not a bad thing to have a versatile guy like that. I like that pick.
Right.
All right, Tennessee Titans, number 25. I feel like the Titans have, they've got a good offensive line. They've got a good running game with Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. Mariota, obviously, could maybe use some help on the outside. I don't know if there's a guy that they can get right here. I think maybe second round they go after, some weapons, a receiver or a tight end, something like that. So here I think they help their defense. You got Jarrell Casey, that's kind of the he's not really the run stuffer, but he's more of an aggressive deep tackle. But I think on defense, if you get a Deron Payne next to him, I feel like those guys could do some damage up the middle.
Oh, for sure, I agree with
especially
that.
in a we talk about a division with Fournette and those
Right.
guys. So I think Deron Payne here is the smart pick. I think you go D tackle out of Alabama, Deron Payne, Tennessee Titans 25.
Especially with that division, I feel like
You got
like you
Lamar
said,
Miller is tough.
and you got Fournette. You
got
need
Deshaun
run
Watson.
stoppers. Yeah, you definitely need run stoppers. You need guys that get in there and that'll stir things up. So
Right.
I like
All right.
that.
Number 26, the Dirty Birds, Atlanta Falcons.
The Dirty Birds. I mean, I feel like if they could put it all together, they'd be.
Yeah, they're 1 year removed from all about winning the Super Bowl.
Right. Giving up the
They're
Super
up
Bowl.
28-3 in the damn Super Bowl, but
I'm gonna. This might be a stretch. I might go on a stretch here, but I feel like they might be missing one little thing on offense.
offensive line. Oh, are you thinking? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, is that where you're going? Okay.
I think I'm gonna go there. I think we're going.
I'm gonna start writing it because I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, we're going little Dallas, South Dakota State. We're tight
Dallas
end.
Goddard. Tight end.
Goddard. Yeah.
Well-
I feel like that's the only spot they're really kind of missing on offense. Like,
Austin Hooper's decent, but
Yeah,
Goddard. If you
yeah.
have Goddard to stretch the seam with Julio on the outside,
but I feel like Hooper had maybe a couple good games.
he had one huge catch for like 90 yards. But
Yeah.
outside of that, he's really nondescript.
No, so I feel like. First tight end, first round. I feel like.
Yeah, and we've seen him play live. He's a matchup nightmare.
Oh, he is. Yeah, I feel like he'd be a good compliment with Julio and Sano.
And those running backs too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's a little bit scary,
It is.
but he was tearing up the Senior Bowl before he got hurt in practice too.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him play multiple times live.
Oh,
where it's
yeah.
like when they had him and Winicky, it was like you don't see that at the FCS level a lot.
Right, and he's a matchup nightmare.
Still lost.
Right. Yes, but he put
We
up
have to
his
bring that
numbers.
part up, too.
He put up his numbers.
Yeah, he got his stats.
Yeah.
He's a South Dakota kid, so good for him, I guess. But still hold that L, bro. If you're listening. You just stole my pick, by the way. 27, New Orleans. I was gonna go tight end there because they were trying to get Jimmy Graham back, but New Orleans, they just took a tackle last year. They've got two good tackles. Their running backs are set. Their defensive line is pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a couple ways I think they could go here. I think they could go corner. I think they could go maybe not safety as much. Their defense has gotten surprisingly better. So I maybe a pass rusher offensive line here. I think they take the guard from Texas. I think they go Connor Williams. Try to fortify the middle of that line. Protect Breeze for whatever he's got left. There's a lot of rumors of quarterback here, though.
I could see that. Because Breeze he's only got a few years left. I'd say.
Yeah, I think he signed a 2-year deal. So
Yeah.
this wouldn't be a bad spot to maybe take a quarterback for the Saints, but I think they're going to try to win now.
Yeah. Oh, for
Try
sure.
to if you fortify that line a little bit, and maybe you get a Laletta or somebody like that in the second round, or I don't know. But 28, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh. So I feel like Pittsburgh. I mean, they could also go quarterback.
They could.
They could.
There's a lot of thought of that here.
I mean, because what wasn't Big Ben talking about retiring this year, or maybe giving one more year? But I mean, you got the 3 Bs.
The Killer Bees, yeah.
Yeah, Ben, Brown, Bell.
This is obviously another trade down spot too. Same thing with New Orleans. I can see New Orleans trading out of that spot for somebody who wants Mason Rudolph potentially.
So like, if I were Pittsburgh, I see them going probably best defensive player. So I see they can. I mean, I feel like they also need help on D line too because they don't have. I mean,
and now they need help at linebacker too with Shazier having that injury
right,
too. So
yeah,
that's
I mean, you go defensive. I think they're gonna go Brian from Florida.
Taven Bryan out of Florida, the D tackle.
Yeah. I feel like he'd be a good fit there. I like.
He'd be like the Casey Hampton for back in the day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but I think Pittsburgh definitely needs to start building their defense again because I feel like they kind of they're more known for their offense now. Like remember, like
I mean those Steelers for 15. Well, I mean since the 1960s, basically been known. I mean you think of the Mean Joe Green and all those guys, the Steel Curtain, and then even the Palomalus and James Harrisons and all those guys. Like their defense has always been good.
But yeah, I feel like they kind of went away from that real quick. But
you try to do the flashy offense thing now.
Right.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I get a big man in the middle there. That always helps.
Right.
All right.
Jacksonville. Let's
29.
go.
Jacksonville Jags. I still think this is the area where Mason Rudolph will go, but once again, we're not doing trades here. So once again, I can see Jacksonville trading back and trying to get a couple of linemen. I think they're pretty stacked at defense in general.
Yeah.
They lose Allen Robinson. Did they gain anything at receiver? I don't think they signed anybody.
I don't think. But they're still stuck with Marquise Lee and what's his face.
Alan Hearn signed with the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
So they're pretty thin at receiver all of a sudden. I'm not sure if there's a receiver worth taking now. So I think it's one of two ways: either go with offensive line here, or go receiver. I think they go receiver with a guy who's getting a lot of buzz. That's Cortland Sutton out of SMU. I think that's where the Jags go to help out their receiving core.
Another small town guy. I think that'd be a good pick for them because they definitely need to start stacking their wide receivers, especially if they're going to put a lot of money and time into
Bortles.
Yeah,
which is dicey.
Right.
But they just I mean they just extended his contract, so they have some kind of faith in him. And SMU quietly has a couple of good receivers in the NFL. I mean, Manuel Sanders and Cole Beasley. So very quietly.
Beasley, yeah.
I mean, Cole Beasley's more of a slot route running fundamental guy,
Right.
but,
known for the catch off his
But
back.
Sutton's a big, strong receiver. So I mean, I think he's 6'4", something like that.
Yeah.
I might be making that up on the fly, but he's a big, strong receiver.
I think Jacksonville needs kind of a big, strong receiver.
They could use that, especially with losing Robinson and Hearns.
Right.
I think that and they're right on the cusp. They almost beat the Patriots in the the AFC Championship. So with that defense, if you can get some points on the board, even if you can just basketball to them in the red zone or something,
God, I love their defense. Jacksonville's defense is so good. I love them.
All right. Number 30.
Oh, boy.
Caleb gets it.
No pressure.
Minnesota Vikings.
Honestly,
there's two on the board I'm thinking of. I want to hear your opinion first, though.
Oh, man. Honestly, I feel like there's only almost only one way to go. Like, unless you can get a couple of the earlier defensive backs to slide down, I feel like you have to go O-line here.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you the two names I'm thinking of.
What do you think?
Wynn and Ragnow. And I'm hearing a lot of buzz about Ragnow because he's a local guy. He's from Chanhassen. He went to Arkansas. He plays center and guard. But I've seen Wynn projected a lot higher than him as well. So if Wynn slides here, I've seen a lot of Wynn for the Vikings.
Honestly, I'm a little Georgia biased because I like Georgia. I think Georgia produces a lot of like blue collar, hardworking guys. I think I'm gonna go with Wynn. I like
Isaiah Wynn. That very likely will be the pick. Like I said, if Wynn goes before this, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ragnow go to the Vikings, just because he's a beast, plays multiple positions, and he's a local guy. So.
I mean, do you think he could even slide down to the second round?
I don't think he makes it very far into the second round. Because where's he ranked on here? Yeah, he's number 40 on here, so I don't see him going too far. All right, 31, New England Patriots. Always tough to figure out, because Bill Belichick's mind is something that nobody will figure out if you ever crack that code.
Oh, yeah.
31, I think, they just lost... who was the running back they just lost? I'm trying to blank the short guy, the quick one.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. God, I wish I could think of his name. Ridley?
No. Deion Lewis. They just lost Deion Lewis.
Yeah.
Glad I thought of that. That would have bothered me for a while.
But they signed that Cincinnati guy.
Which one? Jeremy Hill?
I think so.
Well,
I think they signed one of them. I know they signed one of the Cincinnati guys.
Okay. Well, I think they go for a playmaker here, a running back, that guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield, a guy that's explosive. There's two of them jumping onto the page right now. I know you want me to take the Georgia guy.
I do. I'm thinking only because I'm a Georgia fan, but
I think they go Darius Geis.
I can see that.
The running back LSU.
I mean, either way you go, they're both good picks.
Did I get both New England picks? Yeah, I did. All right, I got him a corner and running back. So.
Yeah.
Congrats, Bill. All right, the 32nd pick in the draft, the defending Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles, who really don't have any holes.
Well, I mean, they just lost Bennett.
Kind of. But
Yeah.
Bennett was also on a team with Brandon Graham and Derek Barnett and all those other pass rushers. They had Chris Long is back. So, I mean, they still have guys that are going to rush the passer.
So, I mean, they're kind of known for swapping out their D line like a hockey line, right?
Yeah.
Just keep it fast. So I feel like they want to, you got to keep that young. You got to keep it fresh. So I'm gonna go with Landry.
Harold Landry. Yep.
I feel
I
like
actually like that pick a lot.
I feel like he'd be I feel like that almost might be a dangerous pick there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that think he should be a top 15 pick. So.
Oh yeah, who knows? He might not even make it that far, but
that's the luxury they have.
Yeah,
there's not even a huge hole. Like he might be the fourth best DN on his team.
Because on offense, they're pretty solid.
They lost
on
to Garrett
offense.
Blunt, but they get Darren Sproles back probably.
Right?
They got all those other. They got Jay Ajayi. The receivers are set. They just got Mike Wallace. They get their quarterback back.
Right, and if anything, the weakest thing is defense, I'd say.
Yeah. So.
But if you can get a guy like Landry, I feel like that would help out a lot. Young guy, up and coming.
And you could develop him. Yeah, I agree with that one a lot. I think. You know what? After last year, I don't want to see Philly get much better because I want the Vikes to win. But it'd be nice if Wentz won the Super Bowl and not Foles. But what can you do?
At least Wentz still got a ring.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been in the spot they were without Wentz. But what can you do? All right, well, thank you for listening all the way. You can go on Facebook or Twitter. We got our NFL Predict the Pick. I'll post the link. I'm going to try to post this one on YouTube and SoundCloud as well, so please subscribe, please comment, please do all the above. Comment on whatever. If you don't like our picks, let us know, specifically Caleb's. If you don't like his, mostly let him know. But,
come at me, see what happens.
He will tweet back at you viciously, but... thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.